Now, the other religion at work case involves a flight attendant who works for ExpressJet. 3 years ago, Charee Stanley joined the airline. 2 years ago, she became a Muslim, and then just this year, she learned her faith prohibits her from drinking alcohol and also from serving it. That's the problem in this case. In June, she informed ExpressJet she could not serve alcohol on flights. And her attorney says that the small carrier directed Stanley to work out an agreement with other flight attendants for them to take on that task on her flights. Well, a few months later, a coworker complained saying Stanley was not fulfilling her duties. And that's when the airline suspended her. Now, with me to talk more about this is her attorney, Lena Masri, representing Charee Stanley. She's also an attorney for the Michigan chapter of the Council on American-Islamic Relations. Lena, thanks for being here. I know you all filed a discrimination complaint with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. What's the status?
Thank you. Yes, we requested a full investigation into the complaint, and the EEOC now has 6 months to look into the matter. Hopefully, we will be looking into various options in mediating the case and coming up with a positive resolution.
I guess one of the basic questions is, if your client isn't going to serve alcohol, how is she able to fulfill the duties that her job entails?
So, you know, the primary concern that Charee Stanley had back in June, when she brought this concern up to her immediate supervisor at ExpressJet Airlines, was that she wanted to make sure that the customers were still receiving their requests for alcohol, that the customers were all being accommodated properly. So that was what prompted her to bring this issue forward to her supervisor, and at that time her supervisor had directed her to work out that arrangement with the other flight attendant to make sure that the alcohol is being served and the customers' requests are being satisfied, but at the same time her own religious beliefs would be accommodated as well.
I do want to read the statement we got from ExpressJet, who isn't giving us any details on their end as far as this complaint goes, but this statement does read, at ExpressJet, we embrace and respect the values of all of our team members. We are an equal opportunity employer with a long history of diversity in the workforce. Now, Lena, if her coworkers believe that what they're being asked in terms of accommodating her is unfair or unreasonable, what do you say to them?
Well, what I would say is, just looking at the track record here, is since this accommodation was put in place, all of the other flight attendants were happy to accommodate that particular arrangement, and there has never been any issue. Even this particular flight attendant that filed a complaint, she even agreed to that accommodation and said that she had no issue with it. Rather, this complaint was filed afterwards. And, you know, it's worth mentioning that that complaint had Islamophobic overtones to it, where it mentioned her headdress and foreign writings that she had in her possession. So, you know, it wasn't necessarily that it wasn't working out. To the contrary, it worked out very well. And until this date, until the time that we're speaking right now, there still has never been any issue with this accommodation since it was first implemented.
Now, to play devil's advocate, some might ask, couldn't Charee find another job within ExpressJet that doesn't conflict with her religion?
Well, I mean, she could, but at the same time, the law does not obligate her to do that. She has a right to have her religious beliefs accommodated. At the same time, it's important to ensure that the customer's requests are also accommodated. So, you know, working out an arrangement that is reasonable, such as the one that was proposed by ExpressJet, is what the employer is obligated to do in this situation, and that's what we're requesting. It's a small accommodation that we're requesting that we know has worked out in the past and will continue to work into the future.
And I'm just going to push you a little bit further, because you might look at another situation where you're a bartender, you become a Muslim, and now your religion won't allow you to serve alcohol. Should the burden be on the employer to find a way to let you continue doing your job, even if you aren't doing a fundamental part of your job?
Well, there's a couple of differences with these two examples. One, with a bartender, it really is an essential duty of yours to serve alcohol. So somebody who cannot have any dealings with alcohol according to the Islamic faith would not apply to be a bartender. However, as a flight attendant, serving alcohol is not an essential function of carrying out your duties. If it was an essential function, then the airline would not have accommodated her request. But clearly the airline acknowledged that her duties can be carried out as a flight attendant in ensuring the safety and well-being of the passengers on board without having to serve alcohol. So there is always another flight attendant that is with her. So when a customer makes that request for alcohol, the other flight attendant would easily be able to accommodate that. So there's nothing being sacrificed here. It's just a matter of protecting her right to exercise her faith.
All right, Lena Masri, I really appreciate you joining us, and do keep us posted as that complaint moves forward.